Hello, happy Friday. Friday, celebrating the weekend. We got week 7 of college football, week 6 of NFL. Jared's getting ready with his blue quarter zip. How you feeling, Jared?
Quarter zip. It's a patented look for me. If you want to send, you can send me different colors. I can sample them for the show, bring out my eyes a little bit. Exciting week so far. Last night's game was fun, unless you were on the wrong side of it. You were on the right side of it if you listen to our play of the day, which is fun. But the game itself, I didn't really learn a whole lot from that game last night. I definitely learned a lot from the Giants-Dodgers game, especially the ending, and it was not a very fun lesson because I'm still a little bit upset about how that game ended. But we move forward. Congratulations to the Dodgers. They're going to be the World Series favorites now, and anybody but the Red Sox, please win it, please. Anybody but Boston.
Oh my gosh. I will say, though, being from Atlanta, everyone was rooting for the Dodgers to win, to play against the Atlanta Braves. Everyone was rooting for the Dodgers. There was no one rooting for the Giants. So congrats, Dodgers, moving on to the NLCS, taking on the Atlanta Braves. First game is tomorrow, Saturday, and the second game is Sunday. So that's going to be an exciting series as well. Today, we got a lot of football and we got a little basketball. Week 7 college football picks. NFL Week 6. Our friend Brian Scalabrine is going to come on, talk a little bit about NBA futures. And then, Jared, we can't end without what? Let me hear it.
POD.
The Pickswise play of the day and our bets. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's bet it. College football coming at us fast and furious. We got week 7 already, which is pretty crazy to think that we're already 7 weeks into the college football season. What games are you eyeing this weekend? Do you have props? Are you betting spreads? Are you betting money line? How are you feeling about it?
All right, I have 4 spreads. I have 1 total. 4 of them, though, we gave out earlier in the week during the early bird segment. So I'm not going to, go crazy with these handicaps. I have 1 new pick, though, that I will give to you right off the bat. Then I have another pick that's in a major conference. And then you know how we like to go with the crazy off, the games that nobody bets on. Yeah, the games that nobody bets on. I know your pops, Mr. Jbara, is very excited about these picks because he loves the games that nobody likes to bet on. We'll get to those in a second. First, actually, both of my picks in the major conference games are both in the same state, and they both involve Oklahoma. We're going to go OU laying 13 and a hook against TCU. Boomer Sooner, baby. So they're facing TCU at home. How about TCU? I thought Gary Patterson's deep was like a defensive guy. His defense this year is 123rd. Oh, the dog's barking. I hope the dogs are not. I hope the dogs are not barking for this game because TCU's defense is 123rd in opponent yards per play. That is really bad. And Oklahoma just scored 55 against Texas. By the way, Texas's defense is 104th in opponent yards per play. So TCU's defense is worse than Texas's defense. I'm expecting it is. And I think Caleb Williams, who looks like is going to start this game, is going to continue that momentum. It looks like Lincoln Riley's going to ride the hot hand. And how about Lincoln Riley? He has done a really good job taking quarterbacks, 3 different quarterbacks, to the college football playoff. Baker, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray. Why not take Caleb Williams and turn him into a superstar? We know Spencer Rattler's had some issues. Oklahoma State against Texas. I'm getting 5 and a hook with Oklahoma State. We gave you this handicap earlier in the week. This is a letdown spot for Texas after that grueling loss in the Red River Shootout last week. It's going to be tough, I think, for them to emotionally bounce back. Oklahoma State's undefeated this year. They've got their eyes on a Big 12 championship, and I think they're going to be a live underdog in this spot. All right, that's the major conference games. Now let's have a little bit of fun. Let's go off the beaten path.
Okay, those are the major conference games. Someone had a 5-hour energy this morning, Jared.
No, that's you. You're the only one between the two of us that drinks 5-hour energy. I'm a coffee guy. All right, Conference USA, Western Kentucky, Old Dominion. This game is being played in Richmond, Virginia. Check the weather this Saturday in Virginia. I'm hearing thunderstorms. But if the weather's okay, I like the over in this game, 67.5. Western Kentucky, besides Pittsburgh, only team in the country that's 5-0 to the over this year in their games. So there hasn't been an under in any Western Kentucky game this season. I'm expecting that to continue. Both teams top 25 in plays per game. Tempo. That's what we like for overs. So Western Kentucky, Old Dominion over 67.5. Air Force catching 6.5 against Boise State. Good luck finding 6.5. We gave this out on early birds. It's 3.5 now.
They're going to look high. They're going to look low. They're going to look left and right. Good luck.
The Fighting Falcons, Air Force. We love them against Boise State this week. I thought this line was going to close 4. It looks like it's going to close 3 or 3.5. Air Force, positive net yards per play. Boise State, negative. Air Force, 5-1 against the number. Boise State's 3-3 against the number. I think Air Force might win this game. BYU, that big win for Boise State last week against BYU, a little bit of a letdown. UTEP catching 7.5. The Miners of Texas, El Paso. This line's 6.5 now. UTEP positive net yards per play. La Tech negative net yards per play. And again, the Miners 5-1 against the number this year. We like teams that are overachieving their number. That's UTEP. Love the dumpster dive plays. UTEP plus 7.5. Air Force plus 6.5. Western Kentucky Old Dominion over 67 and a hook. Crazy. No one bets these games, right?
I like it. Jared, I mean, you went through those so fast. My mind was like, those memes that number, and you're just like trying to figure it out. That's how I just you're going through all those picks.
I need a breath. You talk for a while.
Yeah. Take a breath, take a sip of water.
Yeah.
I'm getting to choose my picks. And mine are actually very similar to what I had early in the week. Ole Miss at Tennessee. And I said Lane Kiffin returns to Knoxville for the first time. And he's going to be the opposing head coach this time. And I think Neyland Stadium is going to be absolutely lit because of that. Tennessee has shown a ton of life the past couple of weeks. Guess what? The last 2 weeks, their offense has put up 107 combined points over the last 2 weeks. So that's going to be a really, really exciting one, but I'm taking Ole Miss laying 2.5 in that game. I like Iowa. I said this earlier. I'm sorry about your Penn State last week, but I really like Iowa laying 11.5 this week against Purdue. I'll tell you also, I really like the under for this game. Just because Purdue's coming off of a week, like an off of an off week, I guess. Off of an off week. Does that make sense?
Bye week. Idle hands.
Idle week. Thank you. And Iowa just had, one of its biggest wins in recent memory. So
yeah, they rushed the field as the higher ranked opponent. Come on, guys. Don't do that.
Still salty about it, guys.
You don't do that. That's like college football rules 101. You rush the field when you're the lower ranked team.
All right, but he digresses. But the Hawkeyes, I will say, could be a little flat because of that, because I feel like maybe they gave everything last week. I think you look at both of them, they're two of the best defenses in the Big Ten. The Boilermakers struggle a little bit to finish drives and turn the ball over quite a bit. And I think that plays right into Iowa's hands. This is why I like the under. It was 44.5 a little bit earlier this week. It's now down to 42.5. I bet it at 42.5, and I'm sticking with it. I also like Iowa laying 11.5, but I feel a little bit stronger about the under in this one. Both of their defenses have been looking really good this season. And then I still stand strong. Kentucky and Georgia. Georgia laying 21.5.
This line's moved against you a little bit.
It was, I know. I like Georgia laying 21.5. I saw it earlier, though. It was 23.5.
Yeah.
So a little bit better about it being 21.5. Georgia comes into this one. They have the best defense in the SEC. And in my opinion, they have the best
the best defense on the planet, maybe the universe, the galaxy.
20 years. And all of the how many galaxies are there? I don't even know, but there's no
alternate realities out there.
Georgia in the entire galaxy right now. They're allowing a little over 4.5 points a game. That is unbelievable. They shut out
crazy. Less than a touchdown a game is absurd for a team to be allowing. That it really is. That number is actually silly. You almost have to double check it to make sure it's right. But that's
I know. I did my own.
No,
math.
I looked up because I heard you say it on Wednesday's show, and I was like, that can't be right. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
I said Kentucky, they've impressed a little bit this season, but there's a big gap in talent on both sides. Yeah. Kentucky's like a mid-tier team, and Georgia's. I think
Kentucky's overrated. Let's just leave it at this. Penn State's backup quarterback is the starting quarterback at Kentucky this year, Will Levis.
So
I'm not salty at all about him transferring and Penn State having to go with a third string quarterback as their backup against Iowa when Clifford got hurt on Saturday. I'm not bitter at all.
He's a little bitter, but it's okay. We're going to move on from that. But I said this on Wednesday. I said it on Tuesday to you. I'm still confident that Georgia's going to cover the spread in a game like this. And I'm feeling really good about it. How do you feel?
I think of all the picks you gave, Georgia scares me just because they're due for a letdown too. But the fact that line's moved against you, I think is the one that would be the one I would probably stay off. And I can't give you an unbiased opinion on Iowa right now. So I'll abstain from that. I will abstain from that. I will abstain from that. Ole Miss should beat Tennessee. I like Ole Miss a lot. I love Matt Corral a lot. I still have a Heisman ticket on him. I still believe that he can win the Heisman if Ole Miss wins out. So I'll say that's the one I like the most.
I will say, Jared, all good things must come to an end. But they're not coming into an end this weekend. That's all I got to say about that. And with that, let's bring in our friend Brian Scalabrine, who's also a great thing, to talk a little NBA that's right around the corner. Preseason games finishing up this weekend. The real deal, baby, starts next week. Brian Scalabrine, let's welcome him in. Something I know a lot of fans are looking forward to. It's NBA season. Preseason finishing up this weekend. The real deal starts next week. And to talk NBA futures, we got our friend Brian Scalabrine on with us. How excited are you for NBA season to get going?
Well, I'm excited that NBA preseason is ending because you cannot take with 70-point losses and players going, load management games. Like, I am done speculating about, is this guy going to be good? How is this team going to fit in? But, you do have to kind of look into the weeds and see, especially from the gambling side of it. What do you really like out there? And there are some things I like. And I'll let you guys know I'm not a big fan of the favorites. So that's where I stand with this.
Hey, Lauren agrees with that. I'm a big underdog better as well. I love a good value. I love a good plus money bet. So I'm right there with you, Scal. Don't even worry about it. I want to get into it with looking at playoff teams last year. Who do you think is going to, take a step back and maybe underachieve, I guess, or overachieve from what we saw last season?
Yeah, it's funny how people are loving the Clippers still. They don't have Kawhi Leonard. I'm informing you guys. And if you're optimistic that Kawhi Leonard's going to somehow return, remember what happened when he was in San Antonio? The guy took forever and didn't want to play. So I'm not high on the Clippers, and people really like the Clippers. Maybe it's the LA buzz. And, I'm not a Paul George hater, but I'm also not, delusional and thinking Paul George is going to lead this team and be awesome, right? Another team is out east is people, I don't think they're giving the proper respect to the Chicago Bulls and the players that they have. I think they're going to overachieve. Last year, even with that team they had last year, which I think has been upgraded, they were, knocking on the door, and then Zach LaVine got COVID, and then he had to miss right in the thick of it. So I think the Bulls are going to have a much better season, and they have real NBA players that can impact the regular season.
Scout, it looks like Kings are another team on your list. I'll mention this though before we get going. Clippers 45.5 on that win total. So you would say under on the Clippers?
Yeah, I would say under on the Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard. It gets awfully tough, to go through those games with Paul George having to be at that high level every single day. So I would say under. But the West is going to be a lot better than people think. People are kind of down on the West right now. The thing is, I'm not as high on the Lakers as a lot of people are, but I'm higher on some of the other teams, like a Sacramento. And here's what I like about Sacramento. I love versatility. I think versatility is the name of the game when you're talking about win total. They have three guards in De'Aaron Fox, Halliburton, and Davion Mitchell. Those guys can beat you different ways. Like Davion Mitchell can impact a game, a quarter, a fourth quarter, just defensively. De'Aaron Fox can do that with just his transition. And if you haven't seen Tyrese Halliburton play, he's one of the 10 players in the NBA that care about winning on every single possession. So I like those guys. I like what they can do. I think they're going to be a team that surprises people, and I really like the over on the Sacramento Kings.
36.5 Kings win total over, and the Bulls 42.5. So those are relatively low numbers right there to go over. That's basically a 500 season for Chicago, slightly over, and the Kings don't even need to go 500, and you would hit that bet.
And outside of the playoffs, the Orlando Magic, for whatever reason, I think Mo Bamba now understands that if he doesn't play hard, he's not going to get paid. And all the people on this show, we all want to get paid, right? We all want our money, including Ben Simmons wants to get paid, right? Well, with Mo Bamba, he is motivated, and they're at 22.5. You might even find him at 21.5. I think Orlando is going to be a lot better. I'm a big fan of Suggs. Suggs is a winner. Cole Anthony. And listen, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that the Orlando Magic are going to make the playoffs, but I don't see them being, they're going to be at 25, 26. I think you'll be happy going along the year watching them saying, I feel like if things go right and they don't go into absolute Oklahoma City tank mode, then I feel like Orlando Magic will be a strong over people think they're the worst team in the league. There's no way they're the worst team in the league.
21.5 means you can lose 60 games and still hit the over.
I know. That's not going to happen, especially
22-60.
Yes. That's an awful year, but you get paid, and we all want to get paid.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Wait, I want to take it back to the West for a second, because you were talking about the Kings, but I know you also mentioned to us like Utah, Phoenix, Golden State.
Yeah.
In terms of conference winners, like, first of all, do you like the conference market better than the finals market? And then what teams kind of stand out to you, especially on the West?
It's very difficult to win a championship, right? Because you can go through and you always see like there's top 5 players on teams. It's just very difficult. Like going back, Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA. His toe was on the line. They lost because James Harden couldn't move and Kyrie was out, right? So like the best players usually win it. Go back in the bubble, Miami. Like at one time, you could have got great value for Miami to make it. So I love the market of this team can make the finals. Go back to last year, the Phoenix Suns. Like no one picked them to do that, and they make it. So I do love going to the finals. I love that market so much more than winning it all, because usually the good teams, the best players, they end up winning it all. So when you're looking out west, I think Phoenix is underrated. Golden State definitely is. If their young players step up and they end up making a trade, let's just say it's Ben Simmons, I could really see that team being like a team that can make it to the NBA Finals. You got Utah, which faltered last year. They have everything you would need to win the West. They have defense. They had a bad matchup. If it wasn't for Terrence Mann on the perimeter, that was like destroying Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year. Like who can imagine that? They probably would have won that series. I like Denver if Jamal Murray comes back. I mean, they must be seeing something with Michael Porter Jr. They gave him $200 million and they're watching him play pickup every day. He must be heading in a direction, or like no way they're paying him that amount of money, or no way he's asking for that amount of money. So I think there's a lot of value in those teams. Like I'm not super high on the Lakers, but they have the best players. They have LeBron and AD, and you throw Westbrook in there, and the best version of them probably ends up. But I really like those other bets, to kind of create an upset in the West.
Yeah, the West right now, Golden State. So the Lakers are 2-1 to win the West. Then you've got Golden State at plus 550. These are on FanDuel. Lakers plus 195. Warriors plus 550. Clippers plus 550. Then you see a little bit of a separation. Jazz, Suns, Nuggets. You see the Jazz at plus 650, Suns at plus 850, Nuggets at 10-1. And based on your handicap there on Jamal Murray and MPJ, 10-1 with the Nuggets. Is that, to me, that's probably the best of the bunch, based on what I'm hearing from you.
I agree. And I'm a huge Jokic fan. And what they had out there last year in the playoffs, like people are just going to think that the Denver they're Denver, they lost again. Murray comes back and Porter takes that next step. Aaron Gordon is great at playing off Jokic. Yeah. Like who wouldn't like us three right now? Like I really believe like us three and Campazzo can go out there with Jokic and win an NBA game. I really think that's how good he is as a basketball player.
Not much on me, but I bet
Lauren, you're the point guard. You're the point guard.
I bet you two really will hold.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is cut, and you get layups. I made 11 years. I played 11 years in the NBA because I cut off of Rondo and Jason Kidd. I know what it's like to play against great passers. So I really believe in that Denver team at 10-1. Like, listen, if Denver was 100, like bet 200. No, I probably would not. But at 10-1, you can't tell me you see those guys and Murray going off and doing his thing and Jokic, and if Michael Porter Jr. got $200 million, there must be a reason. Like there's a lot of things that make sense with that team, and if you like that value.
Mm-hmm. I do like that. I want to get into players a little bit too. So we talked a little bit about teams. Well, actually, let's go to the West for a second, or the East for a second. Who do you see value in terms of conference winner, in terms of who's gonna make it all the way, and who stands out to you, I guess, in that aspect?
I hate to do this, I really do, because I'm when I'm on air for the Celtics, I'm as homer as they can be, right? Yeah. I replaced Tommy Heinsohn, who was the biggest homer to ever walk on the face of the earth, right? So I had to go down this road, but I really believe in my Celtics this year, because here's the reason why. And once again, not to win it all, but there's some things, 21-1
to win the East.
Yeah, so certain things could happen. That's great value. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, both those guys have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Marcus Smart has been there. Al Horford, when they had success, he was there. I know there's a lot of things that have changed, but you can't tell me that their experience and those guys taking that leap, just like last year, Devin Booker. The Phoenix Suns are not going to the finals if Devin Booker doesn't take that huge leap, right? So you're telling me Tatum Brown can't take that huge leap? And I know I'm sitting here with my banner in the background. I get it. But
not biased at all.
But I do like. But
no.
But you guys have to admit there's great value in the Celtics, and coming off of a weird, disastrous year where people have sort of crossed them off the list, there's good value with them.
The reason why I think there is because the favorite in the East right now, the Brooklyn Nets. Goodness gracious, what's going to happen with Kyrie? No one knows. The Bucks, surprisingly, are not the favorites to repeat. Maybe not surprisingly, if you consider how good Brooklyn and LA can be at their best. Then after that in the East, it's Philly and Miami. Philly's got some issues, and they've got a situation going on, obviously, with Ben Simmons. And Miami's kind of been, I don't want to call the window closing for Miami, but their window was very open a couple years ago, and I think it's hard to sustain that. And then there's the Celtics right there in the 5th spot. So I think, but of the two conferences, East, West, you think the West is more vulnerable to a favorite losing and a team like Denver moving up, whereas maybe Milwaukee and Brooklyn a little harder to supplant at the top of the East?
Yeah, that's spot on right there. Like, it's really hard, even without Kyrie and whatever he's talking about, the earth is round, flat, upside down. It doesn't matter. Whatever he's talking about, James Harden is a beast. Yeah. Kevin Durant, are you kidding me? And the rest of the role players, and I feel like they're kind of done with Kyrie's up and down. And it's all good when Kyrie's talking all that crazy madness when you're the best player and they need you. Like, no one in the NBA except for Kyrie and his camp believe that they need Kyrie to win a championship. That team is that good, and it's really hard. James Harden was out there playing 20%, and they almost beat the Bucks. So I understand that. But, for me to say, I think the Brooklyn Nets are going to win, it's not saying anything, right? Even though it does seem like they're the favorite. But Kevin Durant's coming off of Achilles. James Harden, who knows? He's been durable in the past, but, Father Time, it's weird. Like, once you start getting – LeBron started getting injured, and now, every year he has an injury. It's it's things are different like that. And James Harden gets hurt, and there's no Kyrie and Kevin Durant, there is a possibility that they don't, but I would be hard pressed to find a reason that I don't like the Bucks. I do like the Bucks. I think that they can repeat. I think Giannis is going to be better this year. So I do think the Bucks are even where they're at. I think there's good value in the Bucks, but
they're the third favorite. They're not even the favorite. They're the defending champs.
Exactly. And I think, Giannis has been downplaying a lot of stuff this summer. Oh, I'm so happy I'm a champion. You can never take this away. Yeah. It all looks like he's a fat cat. I did what I wanted to do and my dreams come true. There's no way. The guy's still in the gym working out 3 times a day. He's still driven to do that. And he'll never take his foot off the gas. So if he takes that huge step forward based on having 50 in game 7, that doesn't, or game 6, that doesn't change you. The Bucks are still, in my opinion, let's just talk Bucks Brooklyn. I'm leaning towards the Bucks with value, and I think they could beat Brooklyn.
I like it. In terms of individuals, you mentioned Giannis there. Let's get into the individual futures a little bit. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. Start with MVP. Who is your front runner right now?
No, I don't do front runner. I do dark horses. I love Steph Curry.
Who's your dark horse?
Yeah, Steph Curry.
One right now on
Steph Curry. There's value in Steph Curry. If you just look at what he did last year and you add somewhere down the road, they have a much better passing team because you can't look at if they don't make any trades, right? The Andrew Wiggins at the end of the year was much better for Steph Curry. He figured out. Wiseman is going to figure out how to play with Steph Curry. Steph Curry creates plays for other people and gets people wide open without even touching the ball. They have a better passing team. They have a better shooting team. Teams can't completely overreact to Curry and leave the rest of the guys. I really believe that's unreal value for Curry to win an MVP. I think he's going for it. I got a chance to have an interview with him, and he looks at the game of basketball so differently. How many 3-time champs, 5-time NBA Finals guys would have continued to push for that 10th seed, and an 8th seed or the play-in game? Steph Curry. That's the type of guy he is, and he mentioned it. He talked about golf. He said, in golf, it's an individual sport, and you're pushing yourself to be the best. You're taking to move the needle 1%. And he said, I take the same mindset when it comes to basketball. Like there's the team aspect which I'm trying to win, but there's also the individual aspect where I'm trying to continue to be better than I was the game before, the year before, or 5 years ago. So I think he's a big time dark horse to win the MVP.
Just get a little bit better every single day. What about Defensive Player of the Year?
I think people are going to give Joel Embiid the sympathy vote. I know Rudy Gobert gets a lot of credit for his defense, but Joel Embiid in the numbers is let me say it this way. The Philadelphia 76ers have the best restricted area defense in the NBA. A lot of it is there's Ben Simmons. He might not play, but T. Stiebel is part of that. But Embiid is a force in the paint, and Embiid's leadership, from what I know from talking to all the people in Philly, he's like the guy who ordered Oreo cookie shakes and was crying after that Kawhi Leonard shot in Toronto. That was a long time ago. This Embiid is going to be a different Embiid, so I think he'll win Defensive Player of the Year.
Now I want to go get an Oreo cookie shake.
I know, but we don't have to play. We don't have to play Toronto.
I don't have to worry about the same dietary restrictions as Mr. Embiid. Rookie of the Year, 6 out of the last 7 years, it has been a top 3 pick. The one non-top 3 pick was Malcolm Brogdon. Kudos to the Bucks for drafting him, right? That would be good news for Green and Cunningham and Mobley. But is there a guy on this list maybe that isn't a top 3 pick that you could see making a run at Rookie of the Year? It's always a fascinating market.
Yeah, it really is, because like the Malcolm Brogdon they valued winning that year. I felt like last year they valued winning. Other times they valued stats. So like I think I'm going to take Cade Cunningham out of this now personally. Yeah. To me, it looks like Jalen Green. He's not the
favorite. Green is the favorite at plus 210. Cunningham 3-1.
Yeah, so I don't think the Houston Rockets are going to be as bad as they were last year. I think they obviously had to tank because they didn't want their pick to go to Oklahoma City. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last year. So, but I think Jalen Green and the way that they play is going to really, like his stats are going to be good, and you can make the argument that he's going to impact winning to a certain extent. I think the best player, in my opinion, is Cade Cunningham. But sometimes winning Rookie of the Year is not necessarily indicative of of being the best player. Like a lot of people like LaMelo Ball. I like LaMelo Ball, but I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan, huge. And when LaMelo Ball was out for the injury and Anthony Edwards is trending as, to me, the best player in the Minnesota Timberwolves, I thought he deserved it. But LaMelo Ball had a lot of hype, and he had a really good start to the season. So all that stuff comes into play. But normally I don't like picking, like the favorites in
there. That's the top of the market there, Scal.
I know, but I don't see a world where the Houston Rockets don't play any defense. They don't care about defense. I don't see a world where Jalen Green, unless he gets hurt, where he doesn't average like 19 points a game. He's just like a dynamic offensive player.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Brian, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been great. Really looking forward to NBA season. Brian Scalabrine bringing all the hot takes today. Love it. All right. So much fun. Gets us excited for the NBA season, Jared. I can't even wait. What we do have this weekend, though, we got week 6 of NFL. Started last night with the Bucks playing the Eagles. Guess who bet the Eagles plus 7-1? Just take a guess.
You too? I didn't know that.
That was my play of the day.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
We both won last night.
Oh, my God.
High five.
Virtual high five. I'm loving it. This week, I know you gave out quite a few of your picks, but do you want to go over any of them right now first?
No. If you want my picks, Pickswise.com, best bets column. I think we're 17-13-1 on the year. So that's about 56.5%, which is gravy. That's a winning year. Let's keep that up.
2 thumbs up. It's gravy. I love to hear it. That's
56%. I'll take that all season.
All right. Let me give you some of my hot takes for this weekend. Aaron Rodgers, longest completion over 36.5 yards. The Bears have had Aaron Rodgers' problem in Chicago since he basically took over the Packers offense, right? So not only does he own the division rival in the win-loss column, he's won 20 of his 25 starts against the Bears, including 8 of his last 9. He makes them pay through the air. He's cashed 4 straight longest completion attempt props against Chicago.
I like that.
6 of the last 7. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Another QB prop, Joe Burrow, over 1.5 passing TDs. That's minus 225 at DraftKings. He's registered multiple touchdown passes in every single game this season. And he's going up. Oh, I hate to say this. He's going up against a Lions defense that ranks 21st in opponent completion percentage. So feeling good about that one too. I also like the Dallas Cowboys against the New England Patriots. I have the Cowgirls -3. The Cowgirls are laying 3. Why? They've won 4 straight. The Patriots have not looked that great the past 2 weeks.
I agree.
You know, they lost one and won a close one against the Texans. And Dallas defense, they've made big strides, but this is also going to be about the offense, right? Davis Mills picked apart New England and their defense last week. Now Dak Prescott has the opportunity to do the same. Dallas is the better team, and it's going to show. Cowgirls laying 3. Then I have a Jbarlay valued at +3.
Oh, eventually one of these is going to hit, but I don't think it's gonna be this week.
Come on. I told you, Jared, with college football, all good things come to an end. But not this week. The Cardinals have Cardinals money line. And I'm loving it, and I am sticking with it. They stayed perfect on the season after they took down the 49ers, who started rookie Trey Lance for the first time in his career. Now they head to Cleveland to face a Browns team that I know you're riding hard, that lost in a shootout against Justin Herbert and the Chargers, right? So the Browns are talented, but it seems pretty enticing to me to take. I know the odds makers.
It seems very enticing for a reason.
They're trying to lure people in with this one money line plus money. Ring.
You took the bait, hook, line, and sinker.
Me, but it also doesn't hurt knowing that Cleveland is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 home games. I don't have any. Are 2-5 in their last 7 home games. So just putting that out there. I don't know if that makes you rethink anything. That's the first half of my Jbarlay. Second half, Bills at Titans. Bills laying 5.5. Why are you laughing at this? Because I feel pretty confident about it, Jared. And guess what? If this hits, we're going to do another bet. You're going to be wearing Michigan.
No, we're definitely doing a swag bet this week. But it's not going to be on your Jbarlay because that's unfair to you because that's a plus money pick.
I mean, here's the
swag bet will be based around the Browns Cardinals. We'll split it down, even down the middle.
Okay.
I'll lay 3 with Cleveland because that's kind of the average consensus line. It's moved a little bit to 3.5, but it was 2.5 earlier in the week. I got 2.5. I'll split the difference. So the swag bet this week is Browns -3. I'm taking it.
I like it. I look at the Bills. They have a little bit of extended time to prepare for the Titans, right? Monday Night Football. MNF. Tennessee's coming into this game after a dominant win over the Jags. Derrick Henry rushed for 130 yards, 3 touchdowns, which is pretty good last time I checked. And, of course, beating up on Jacksonville, then facing Buffalo are 2 definitely different animals. They're 2 different cats, 2 different dogs.
Jaguars is a bill an animal? It is. It's a mammal.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a bill. It's a bill.
I guess Buffalo's a city, but
bison. Thank you, Jack. It's a bison.
Thank you. It's a
bison.
A bison.
A bison against the Jaguar.
What did the dad say to his kid? Bison.
It took me a second to get that. Bison. Wait.
Have their work cut out for them. I'll get back.
I don't understand. You lost. The joke is funny, but I don't think you did the setup right.
The Bills are 13-3 against the spread in their last 16 games, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 road contests. So that's the Jbarlay. Bills laying 5.5. Cardinals money line. Jared hates it. I love it.
I hate it so much.
384, and I'm sticking with it, Jared Smith. I'm sticking with it.
Lauren Jbara. What's your middle name, by the way? Am I allowed to know that?
Ann with no E.
Lauren Ann Jbarlay. It is. I love you to death, but it's one of the squarest parlays I think I've ever seen.
Thank you.
But
this weekend I'll be feeling good with some cash in my pocket.
Once the games start, it doesn't matter because nobody knows anything once the games start. But right now, at this moment on Friday, the Bills are like, besides maybe Dallas, which is the other most publicly bet game of the week, on the Cowboys, the Bills, it looks like good luck finding anybody that wants to bet the Titans on Monday night. But listen, that doesn't matter. Once the games start, I've seen 95% public teams win outright and cover the spread. But
10% of the time, Jared, it works every single time.
And Jack is right, because this is the first time that I've talked negatively about the Jbarlay, it's definitely hitting. It's definitely
hitting. Absolutely.
And I'm going to have to wear some absurd outfit next week.
We're going to leave it at that, Jared. It's definitely hitting. Quote that. Don't give any other context. That's all we got to know. All right, heading into the Pickswise play of the day. We can't end without our 3-star play. What is it?
All right, 3-star play of the day. Luke Lindholm. Shout out Luke Lindholm, one of the Pickswise college football cappers. We've got a game tonight. Cal at Oregon. He likes the Golden Bears getting nearly 2 touchdowns, 13 and a hook at Oregon tonight. I will not give away the handicap. Go to Pickswise.com, read about it. Luke Lindholm, the capper, giving out the 3-star play tonight. And I'll mention, too, our producer, Jack, put this in our little chat. If you want my NFL picks, obviously the column is a great place, but also Pickswise Playbook with Chris Rose and Ross Tucker. A little bit of fun, a little bit of shenanigans, a lot of NFL information. Go check that out, too.
We'll also let all of you Pickswise Nation get in on it every single week. Vote on your favorite play. Follow Pickswise on Twitter to take part. Don't want to miss out. All right, Jared, best bet of the weekend. I got to hear it. What is yours?
I mean, it's the swag bet of the week. Browns laying 3. All right, Here you go. I'll give you my reasoning.
2-5 against the spread in their last 7.
Yeah, because that matters for this game, right? What they've done in their previous 7 games has so much.
I mean, trends don't lie. Ball don't lie. Trends don't lie. That's all I got.
You know what also doesn't lie? DVOA, net yards per play. Cleveland's ahead of Arizona in those categories. Here's what really doesn't lie. The starting center for the Arizona Cardinals, besides the quarterback position, the only position that bookmakers say has a slight impact on the line is the starting center. It'll be about a half a point. And you are seeing Rodney Hudson out with a rib injury. Chandler Jones, their great defensive end, not playing with COVID. We just heard this morning that the Cardinals traded for Zach Ertz. Why? Their star tight end, who was having a career year, Max Williams, is out for the season. So Arizona is starting to show, I don't want to say desperation, but that trade for Ertz clearly shows you that they think they can win the Super Bowl this year, and they're really desperate to get a tight end who can catch the ball. So I think this is one of those lines that the sports books every year give you, and they say, I dare you to bet Arizona as an undefeated underdog at 5-0. And a lot of people have taken that bait. But I'm seeing the line move towards Cleveland. It's gone off of 3 to 3.5. That is a very bullish move. And the injuries, to me, are prominent. Cleveland's defense, I think, slows down that Cardinals rushing attack. And I think Cleveland wins by a touchdown or more. I don't think it's close.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm in my best bet of the day, Chargers versus Ravens. Chargers, money line, plus 120. I love the Chargers. I love that they're an underdog in this game. They scored 26 points in the 4th quarter. Justin Herbert finished with 398 passing yards, 5 total touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 rushing. I mean, that's pretty good. That win and cover makes the Chargers now 8-1 against the spread over their last 9 games. I love that. Ravens rallied to beat the Colts that was just a wild game. I don't even know how to even talk about that. That was just a crazy game against the Colts Monday night. Lamar Jackson lit them up through the air. Justin Herbert's also been putting up those big numbers. I think this is going to be a really fun game to watch. The Chargers, they're not great against the run. So
no, that's what scares me in this
Ravens
spot.
Running back, does this get the Ravens running back again? I don't know. Are the Ravens need to take advantage of the run to be able to take advantage of the Chargers. Yeah. But I think that both offenses are going to be able to have their way in this one. I think it's going to be a shootout win, but I like the Chargers money line. I like that the fact that it's plus 120, you know me. Plus money assassin, Jared. And I'm feeling really good about my guy, Justin Herbert.
Got an arrow from the quiver. The plus money. I'll say this. If the Cardinals and the Chargers both win on Sunday, I don't know. I'll come up with some kind of, goofy punishment, or I don't think both are going to win. Maybe one. No way they both win.
Maybe one. I think the Chargers are definitely going to win. 100%.
That would be the one that I would lean towards because Baltimore's on a short week.
Yeah,
that would be the one I would lean towards.
All right, it's going to be
the lines moved in your favor.
Oh, I know. That is actually very true. Very true. Yeah. It's going to be a fun weekend, Jared. Week 7 college football, week 6 NFL. That's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel, pickswise.com. Click on it. Follow us on Twitter, Jared Smith, Lauren Jbara. Best of luck this weekend, guys. We'll see you on Monday. Looking forward to it. Let's get it. Let's bet it.